Joining me now is Anthony Seaboyer, military and national security analyst. Anthony, thank you as always for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Roger.
We hear talk that it's optimism that we could see peace come to the region with the death of Sinwar. Is that optimism realistic, though?
Well, certainly Israel has reached a major goal. If there was one person who was most responsible for the October 7 attacks, who was basically the mastermind behind it, who did the strategic planning and organizing, this was Sinwar. Taking him out now, after already having taken out the political leader of the organization and then now the military leader who resumed that role, this is the largest possible success in taking out one leadership member that Israel could have gotten. So that's a huge, huge development and success for Israel. And shows the capabilities of IDF and the Mossad. But the conflict overall is, of course, much larger rooted in history, and taking out leadership does not solve the conflict and the root causes of the conflict. But this is a major step, and I think we have reasons for optimism.
Now, Hamas has said they're going to. This will not bring an end to it. They will not be releasing the hostages. We hear Hezbollah saying they're going to launch further attacks and step up their attacks. Are they capable of doing that?
Well, we've seen up until very recently, they were able to strike very deeply into Israel. But that said, who is actually speaking now? Because who's representing the organization? What we know is that many leaders have been taken out now. They have very much a leadership problem. They likely do not have someone with this experience, this capability of strategic planning that Sinwar had. And there's not a lot of people that can replace him, and not a lot of people that want to replace him, because people know now, obviously, how dangerous that position would be in the organization. So it really depends a little bit on who's going to be the successor and how much authority does that person really have in the organization.
Does this make Hamas more dangerous without one clear person in control? You'll have different groups in different parts of it, maybe doing their own thing?
This is a good question. It certainly makes it more unpredictable where the organization is going to go. But if you look at the pattern that we've seen of so many top leadership officials being taken out and the organization overall being significantly affected by the attacks in the past year, I think this certainly weakens the capability of the organization. And we can't forget that Sinwar was also the closest link to Iran and organizing cooperation with Iran. This has also been taken out. There are likely few that have that level of knowledge of how the cooperation between Iran worked, and that certainly is another level where this significantly impacts their capabilities.
Now, Israel said the conflict will continue. Is there any chance that Israel might go after the Hamas leaders in Qatar?
Well, we heard Netanyahu say that he will go after anybody who is attacking Israel from anywhere. So that's totally a possibility that we might see down the road happening.
And now, would they? I mean, Qatar is a fairly neutral state, as neutral as can be in the Middle East. Would they risk it there, or would they wait for them maybe to go to Iran or come to Gaza?
I think it's not the first step that they're trying to do at this point, but it's really hard to tell. What we know for sure is that Netanyahu does not see the step of killing the top leader, Sinwar, as an end to the war. He requires, obviously, the freeing of the hostages, and he requires the organization to lay down their weapons. The latter, I think, is a goal that is very far away from what we're seeing right now.
And with Hezbollah, will Israel turn its attention more there and direct more troops that way?
That might very much be the case. I think right now the success is certainly great. There's a lot of celebration and happiness in Israel and among the allies. But the task, as I said, is not done. There is no clear line yet to any freeing or any hostage deal that we would expect to be now much more realistic. So I think that's what the focus is going to be right now, coming to negotiations over the remaining hostages.
Okay. Anthony, thank you as always, sir.
Thank you, Roger.
Anthony Seaboyer is a military and national security analyst.